like dinner. I was gonna put green on, but whatever. You know, that's what I say to that. Whatever, Cheddar.
Green. Oh.
For St. Patrick's Day. And then I was gonna pinch you. And then you were gonna say, ow, why did you pinch me? And then I was gonna say, because you're not wearing green, you fool. Because that's what you do on St. Patrick's Day.
Go put green on.
It's too late now. I've already started the video. Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
the Irish.
That's right. What else about the Irish?
St. Patrick's Day.
And
Nothing
being
counts.
lucky.
Green,
which we're not wearing. I had a whole plan. I was going to wear green. I was going to pinch Jeff, and here we are not wearing green.
I told her to go put green on. She didn't. So.
Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, so we thought, hey, you know what? What a good topic for today's video would be? Luck. Games of luck. There's people out there that don't like them.
There's a lot of people.
And you know what I say to that? I love them.
Is that exactly what you say?
Yeah, I do, because I love games that have luck. I love push your luck. Do
Is
you?
this because you have good luck?
Yes, I do have great luck. I have really good luck with dice rolling, and most games that have luck in them, I feel like have some kind of a dice rolling element. Not all of them, but usually the dice are in my favor. How do you feel about luck?
I have terrible luck.
Jeff has terrible luck. I think maybe I like push your luck games because I generally win them if I'm playing against you.
Probably true.
So we have 10 games that focus on luck, or that one of the main things about them is that you gotta be at least a little bit lucky. One thing that I want to say is that a game that would be super great, super duper great for St. Patrick's Day that's not really about luck is So Clover. We probably already knew that.
Facts.
Because it has a clover.
It does. And it's green.
And it's green. Let's get into, we have 10 games to talk about that are focused on a little bit of luck.
In no particular order.
In no particular order. This is not a top 10. This is just a 10.
So calm down.
Calm down. Go drink some green ale and some mint shakes.
Since we don't drink, they need better non-alcoholic St. Patrick drinks.
You get mint chocolate chip
Give me a
milkshake.
green cola. Yeah?
Yeah, what is, I feel like Mountain Dew.
Mm.
You don't like Mountain Dew?
No.
Huh? The first game that we're going to talk about is a game that we've talked about a million times. We actually played it on stream. We love it. It's called Can't Stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't Stop, Won't Stop. This is like the ultimate push your luck game.
Yeah.
In my opinion. That is literally all you're doing. You are rolling dice and you are pushing your luck because you're trying to be the first person to get 3 of your thingamabobs to the top of the thing.
1 through 12.
1 through 12.
How do you do that, Jamie? 2 through 12.
Rolling dice.
Because 1 wouldn't make sense.
You roll 4 dice, and then you have to select 2 numbers from those 4. It can be any combination of 2 dice and 2 dice, 2 dice and 2 dice. And then you're going to move your little mabops up 1 on those numbers. And then you're going to keep rolling until you get a 3rd number, because you only can have 3 numbers per turn. Then
Moving up the track.
Moving up the track. Then when you get to that point where you have 3, you have to say to yourself, do I want to re-roll these? Do I want to keep going, or should I stop? But you know what the game is called?
Can't stop.
Exactly. So
Won't
you
stop.
keep rolling. And then if you get one of those 3 numbers, up you go again. Keep rolling. Up you go again. Keep rolling. Uh-oh.
You busted.
You busted. You didn't get any of the numbers, so all your mabops have to come back
All
down.
of them come
All
all the way
of
back
them.
to their place of origin.
No progression.
0.
Very punishing. So much fun though. This game you can play on BGA if you'd like to test it out. There's a bunch of different variations of it that you can buy. We have the Eagle Griffin Games one, which has like a nice neoprene mat and like wooden pieces, and it's great. There's another one with like mountain climbers, apparently.
You literally could make this game with just some dice and
a piece of paper. You definitely could do that. You do not need to spend lots of money. That is Can't Stop. Highly recommend if you're into a push your luck extreme game.
Next up on the list is a little game we like to call Strike.
You're out.
Not You're Out, just Strike.
Just Strike.
Strike is a
push your luck game.
Push your luck game where you are just throwing dice into a little arena. You will have a little pool of dice, and there will be dice in this bowl. The game is literally, the game box is a bowl.
Yep.
And you can choose to throw dice in, and if you get pairs, you are pulling those dice back out. If you don't get pairs, they have to stay in the bowl. If you run out of dice, you are out of the game.
Right.
So each time you throw a dice in, you resolve that. If there's pairs, you take them out. If there's not, or there's X's, they come out of the game entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And then you choose to do it again or continue. And ultimately, you're just trying to build up your pool with as much dice as you can so that you are safe from exhausting all of those dice when it comes back around to you, because it was going to go around and around until someone is left with dice and everyone else doesn't.
And everybody else has none.
I don't know if you can be good or bad at this game.
I don't know if you can either, because you're literally just rolling die, and it is so fun. But there are people, and I know you've seen it, who are like, I'm just going to bank it off the back and make it spin.
That's not like an actual strategy. That wouldn't improve anyone's odds of rolling doubles.
That way, though.
No, they're full of poop.
Anyways, it is literally just chucking dice and having fun and trying to like decide, should I go for it? Like if you only have 1 or 2 die left, generally you probably want to hold on to them, or you might just shoot the moon and be like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it because eventually I'm going to have to roll these.
Well,
anyway.
The more you roll, the more odds are in your favor that you'll roll doubles, but you're rolling all your dice.
Yeah.
So we played this. Do you remember playing this at PAX?
Yes.
And how everyone was just rowdy and like rioting over this game. Like if you get the right group of people around that thing, whew, what a time.
What a time. Yeah. What a time to be alive. And that is Strike. The next game we have on our list is a racing game because everybody knows how fast I am and how much I love to race. And this game is called Cubitos from AEG. From AEG. You're like, I thought you said it's a racing game. It is, but do you know how you race? By rolling dice. So in Cubitos, you are rolling a bunch of little tiny dice, and all of those dice have different types of die faces on them, and they have different types of abilities. So you are going to keep going and keep rolling until you bust. And once you bust, you lose everything. You don't get to move, you don't get to do all the fun actions, but it's not overly punishing because you actually do get to gain some fans. You gain a little support, rooting for the underdog. That's basically the game. You're buying different die so that you can build up your pool of dice so that you can roll them until your little heart's desired, but it's all about knowing when to stop and knowing that you can't stop until you get the purple dinosaur to show up. Because if the dinosaur comes up, you're cruising.
And each dice has like different odds of being rolled. So like to Jamie's point, the purple dinosaur is like a 1 in 6 chance that it's going to roll for you in your favor. But if it does, it's like super powerful.
It is so
The end of this game gets chaos. I've been so far ahead. I've been right at the finish line. And I just need to get one movement to win. And Jamie will like have a million dice and be like halfway back and still win. It's like, just nuts.
I get the purple dinosaur. That is Cubitos. We love it.
All right, next up we have something that's a little bit different than the rest we've mentioned so far, and that is Clank.
Clank.
Clank, and you might be like, Clank, that's not a push your luck game. That's not a luck game. It's a deck builder. Yes, but in Clank, when you are down in the depths, you need to decide if you want to go deeper. Do I go a little bit deeper? Do I not? Do I just kind of go in quick and get back out? What do I need to do? And there is a lot of luck element in how everyone else is going to do their actions. So if you're like, you know what? I'm going to push this a little bit further. I'm going to go a little bit deeper for a little bit more lucrative of a treasure. And then everyone else is like, ha-ha! Sucker. You're down in the depths and we're getting out. Because once everyone leaves, that starts triggering the end game. And then dragon attack. Dragon attack. Dragon attack. Dragon attack.
And the dragon's doing a bag building themselves, where you're putting your cubes in, and you don't know if you're making movements and you're making Clank and you're getting the dragon to draw out. You have no idea how lucky you're gonna be when the dragon's paw flies open. Your cubes are there. You could die. You could literally die before you get out.
Yeah, you're making a bunch of noise, dinging around down there looking for treasure. You're putting more cubes in the bag.
Exactly.
More cubes in the bag means more health you lose.
Exactly.
Dead like a doornail.
Dead like a doornail. Next up on the list, I have a button shy game. What? That's crazy. Who would have thought? Not me. Not me. This game is called Invino Morte, and this game is pure luck. So In Vino Morte is a game where you have a stack of cards. Most of those cards are wine cards, but some of those cards are poison cards. As the leading player, you are going to look at all of those cards and decide who you're giving wine to and who you're giving poison to, and you're putting them face down in front of everyone. On someone's turn, they have to decide if they're going to drink or swap. If you drink, you're flipping your card up. If it's a wine, you live. If it's poison, you're dead. Or you can swap and take the chance that you think you have poison and I think maybe Jeff doesn't, so I'll swap our cards. Then he's going to have to make the decision to drink or swap. This is all about luck because you are just making the decision to flip your card. Mm-hmm. You have no control over whether or not you have a wine.
Do you get to look at your card at the beginning?
No. No, you don't. It's face down, and then you have to, at that moment in your turn, decide whether or not you are going to drink or pass. Mm-hmm. So the game continues until there's only one person left standing.
I'd like to play this.
It is so much fun. It is silly. Anybody can play this, and it is just pure luck. And it's one of those games where it builds up when you're like, I don't know. Because you give yourself a card, too, as the first player, and you know what you have. So somebody else might be like, well, I'm going to switch with Jamie because no way she's poisoned herself. But in my mind, I'm like, these idiots, of course I've poisoned myself so that somebody else might switch with me and then I'll have a wine. Anyways, it is pure push your luck. It is super fun. It's an 18-card, $12 game. You can't go wrong.
All right, next up we have one of our favorites. Mm-hmm. That is Battle Yahtzee.
Battle Yahtzee.
Better known as Dice Throne.
Yep.
Dice Throne is 80% luck. You do have abilities that you need to trigger, and doing those in the right kind of order and taking advantage of those is important. However, ultimately, you are just rolling dice. And those dice all have faces that you're trying to match up, i.e. like Yahtzee, in order to perform more powerful actions. For example, if you roll 5 sixes, you get to do your ultimate ability, which is crazy. And amazing every time it happens because it's basically like getting Yahtzee in Yahtzee. There is some mitigation of that luck with playing out cards and that sort of thing, but primarily focused on just rolling dice. I did it. I was trying to get through this whole video without doing it, and I did it. You get to roll them 3 times, so again, there is some mitigation of that luck, but ultimately with a game that is primarily focused on rolling dice, there's a heavy, heavy luck component to this, but it's still so, so good. You're basically just attacking each other, playing out cards, doing abilities in order to kill the other person, get their hit points down to 0, and that's the game. Each player has like asymmetry, so there's a bunch of different characters you can play in Dice Throne. There's Marvel Dice Throne now. There's a whole like world to discover in this game, but ultimately it's just if you like dice and rolling dice and having fun with that, this is a no-brainer.
This is a no-brainer. My favorite thing is when you're like, you have one roll left and you're like, I'm just going to re-roll everything.
Chaos.
Just to see what I get. Next up, we have a bag builder. A classic bag builder.
A game I am terrible at.
And that is Quacks of Quedlingberg. I'm sure you saw this coming. But this game, essentially, you are building out your little bag with different chips that have different ingredients as you are making different types of potions. So one phase of the game is that you are going to be drawing chips out one at a time, showing them to everyone, and placing them in your little cauldron. If you pull out 4 white chips, cherry bombs, your whole pot explodes and you lose...
I thought it was up to 7.
Right, up to 7 total. You lose everything. Everything.
You bust.
But, you know, I've got a bunch of good stuff in here. That's what Jeff says.
And every time.
And then he pulls out a white chip. You get to a certain point where it is pure push your luck because you've got like 3, 5 white out. And you're like, if I pull one more out, then I'm definitely going to bust.
Because all the white chips have different values on them. And so obviously by the end of the game, your bag is full of like really good chips.
Yes.
And so you're like, I can just keep pulling chips for a while here. I'll be fine. I swear.
It's really funny to watch as not Jeff.
I swear to anything that the first 4 chips of my bag I pulled were white chips. I ended up busting. I think I got like 1 point.
Like almost immediately. It was
I had
wild.
A bag full of good chips and I pulled all white. Next up we have Sheepy Time.
Such a good game.
This is a game that doesn't get a lot of... I do know. I gotta give some attention to my girly.
She's like, I want to go. She is the biggest sook. Look at her.
Sheepy Time is a game I don't really... Even when it came out, I didn't hear a lot about it.
Yeah.
It really flew under the radar. Sheepy Time is one of our favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one that's going to like pop up. Actually, you know what? It could pop up on my top 50 list at some point because it's really good. Sheepy Time, you are playing as sheep and you are asleep, basically. So you're counting sheep in your dreams. And you have this little rondel track that you're going to keep going around. And this track has a nightmare on it. And those nightmares are all a bit asymmetrical. There's different nightmares that can be out on the board with different abilities and how they move and that sort of thing. But what you want to do is get around that track, that rondel, as many times as you can before the nightmare gets around the track once or lands on you or eats you or whatever. And you're doing that by like rolling dice and you're landing on different spaces that have different abilities that will like allow you to score winks, and it's kind of like Rajas of the Ganges where you want your tracks to meet.
Yes, you want your head on your pillow.
You have your winks and your pillow, and you can slowly manipulate them together, and then once you get them together, the game ends. So every time you go around the rondel once, you hop over the fence, and then you have to decide if you're going to stop, keep all the progress you've gotten during that turn, or if you're going to go around again. And you can go around again and get more points and more whatever, but again, the nightmare's still moving. So if the nightmare gets to the end, then you lose all your progress. And every time you get to the end, you have to decide if you want to jump the fence and go again. We've had some just nonsense games of this. Like, Jamie's brother, Jason, like, he just, like, goes like, yep, go again. Yep, go again. Yep, go again. And somehow it always works out for him. It's a really cute, really, really fun, enjoyable game.
I freaking love this game. Next on the list, we have No Thanks, No Merci.
No merci.
No merci.
Actually, on BGA it says no merci.
No merci.
So it's like English, French.
Yeah, franglais is what we call that here in Canada. Anyways, No Thanks is a game where you have cards that come up and you are bidding to not take them, because if you take them, the amount that is printed on the card, there's going to be negative points for you. So as an example, we'll use 30. That's a high point card. You're like, no thanks, I don't want that. So you're going to be putting chips on it, but you only have so many chips. So you really kind of need to decide, like, sometimes you might actually want that higher card because it's slightly less than a card that you already have. And if you can make a run, your negative points are only going to be equal to the lowest card in that run.
So if you had 17, 18, 19, 20 to run, you're actually going to have 17 points.
Exactly.
Not 20.
Now, where the luck element comes in, let's say you have, let's use 17, 18, 19, and then there's a 16 card. And you're like, nobody else is going to want that. I'm going to put a chip on it and I'm going to send it around again for everybody else to put a chip on. And then when it comes back, I'll take it. So you're kind of pushing your luck sometimes on whether or not you are going to get a card that you actually want, or that you are paying out for a card that you really don't want and you're hoping that somebody else is going to be taking that card. So there is definitely a little bit more strategy in this than there are with some of these other games, but there is still a luck element there where you are just trying to push your luck to see how far you can push other people to go before you take that card.
And some cards are taken out of the deck entirely. So, like, you might be, like, basing something off of, like, a card coming up that
might not even
be available to you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's No Thanks. It's just a simple, fun little card game. You can play this on BGA if you're interested.
Last up, we have one more bag builder, and that is Wonderland's War. What I would say about Wonderland's War is, like, it's got a push your luck element to it.
Yes.
Wonderland's War has a ton of stuff going on in it. Tons of card play, a rondel movement, some area control, battling. Where the push your luck comes in is actually in that battling mechanic. So you are putting chits in your bag in order to build up your army with different power types, different abilities, and that sort of thing. And when you battle, you're pulling those out of the bag. There are also chits in your bag called madness tokens. And if you pull a bunch of madness tokens, you're going to bust. And you're going to lose the battle. In the battle aspect of that game, building out your bag and that sort of thing, there is the whole, like, do I want to continue? maybe you're only winning the battle by 1, and you're like, should I stop? No, you pull another chit out, and it's a madness token, and you bust. So there's a push your luck element within the whole grander scheme of Wonderland's War, which is actually super enjoyable. It's one of the like only bag builder push your luck things that I have overly enjoyed in board games, and I think it's because like it's part of a grandiose system. It's one portion of it. It doesn't
encompass the whole game. Yeah, whereas like something like Quacks, like the bag building aspect of that is like everything for that game. Yeah. Anyways, those are some games that we would like to share with you that we find that you need to be a little bit lucky. And maybe on St. Patrick's Day, you will be, because you'll have the luck of the Irish. You're out there picking 4-leaf clovers and stuff.
Not here. It's still snowy.
It's still sunny. If you are feeling lucky, feel free to play any of these games. And let us know down below what some of your favorite games of luck are. We would love to know. But that's everything that we have for you today. So if you're interested in buying board games like any of the many that we mentioned today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is
the Boardroom Game Cafe.
And you know what? If you like snacks, you should definitely check out Munch Pack. Why? In our last box, we had 1 to 2 snacks from Ireland. We were lucky enough to have
the Tatoes.
The Tatoes, precious.
They were like my favorite part.
They were from Ireland.
Northern Ireland, apparently. Thank
you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later it is.
It's just got some luck in it, you know? They're not all push your luck, but they're luck. There is basically... What does she have now? Cardboard.
Did you know that's from under the table?
Juno loves cardboard. Whatever. If you can hear cardboard being ripped, there's nothing we can do about it.
You okay?
She wants to go out in the snow. She's been rolling around in the snow all day.
Give Dad kisses? Give Dad kisses?
You kind of look like the wolf in Sheepy time.